Cast your mind back to Christmas 20-something. 17? 18. 2018? Christmas. Time. Time is meaningless. Cast your mind back a few Christmases ago. Where were you? I was in Bath, England. Lovely town. One of my favourite towns. And I was in one of my favourite indie bookshops in one of my favourite towns, Topping & Co. The UK has 3 Topping & Co.'s. There's one in Ely, which is a town near where I am now, lovely little town. There's one in Scotland, I think it's in St Andrews, and then there's the one in Bath. The one in Bath is really big and it looks like Bell's Library. It has ladders going up and you can climb up to get the books on the top shelf. Anyway, the booksellers in Topping are lovely people, and I was in a conversation with a guy there. It's Christmas. There's lights everywhere, it's dark, it's like 6 PM, it's dark outside, it's cold, and there's Christmas lights, and I'm in Bell's Library chatting to this lovely, lovely guy who tells me that some of the best literature in the world right now is coming out of South America. And if you want to explore the best of that literature, there's an indie press for you. I said, yes, please. What is that indie press for me? That indie press for you, my friend, he tells me, is Charco Press. Charco Press. Forgot to breathe. Charco Press is a small indie publisher based in Edinburgh, and they publish incredible Latin American works of fiction in translation by some of the best translators in the business, and they take these phenomenal works of Latin American literature and they publish them in these gorgeous, gorgeous English translation copies. Charco are my best friends. Charco is a publisher that I've been working with now for about 2 years, and I've read almost everything that they've ever published, and I've reviewed almost everything, I think everything that they've published in the last 2 years. I can't get enough of everything that Charco publishes. Latin American fiction really is some of the best literature that is currently being published anywhere in the world right now, and Charco Press know this. Charco Press love Latin American literature, and Charco Press provide, via some of the greatest translators in the world, these novels to you every few months. It's all there. It's all there thanks to Charco Press. So while I was in Bath, I was chatting with this guy, and he recommended me a copy of Die My Love. Die My Love is a novel by Argentinian author Ariana Harwitz. It's translated by Sarah Moses and Carolina Orloff. Carolina also happens to be one of the owners and founders of Charco Press. So the translation's incredible. The setting and the story is darkly funny and strange and wonderful, and I am rapt. I am enraptured. I am hooked. I am addicted. Other synonyms. Everything that Charco Press does is fantastic. They are one of those indie presses where you can just pick up one of their books on a whim without reading the blurb, without knowing anything about the authors, the translators, anything at all, and you're gonna have an incredible time with that book, whatever that book may be. From the very beginning, you get treated to a gorgeous cover. Every single cover of every single Charco Press book is beautiful. It's this incredible atmospheric pop art that subtly encapsulates what the themes or the setting or even the characters of the story are. And the cover designers, Jesus Christ, they're fantastic. And then you've got the translators. These translators are some of the best in the business. Everything that Charco does is of a certain standard. They know that Latin American fiction is some of the best fiction in the world, and so they get some of the best Spanish to English translators to translate them to make sure that when we, in the English language, get them, they are perfectly intact thematically, tonally, in terms of their pacing and their language and their structure. They are absolutely beautiful because the power of these translators is absolutely beautiful. In 2019, my favourite book of the year, and I've already said this 100 times in articles and videos, was The Wind That Lays Waste by Selva Almada, translated by Chris Andrews and published by Charco Press. This incredible, theatrical, sublime, Waiting for Godot style novel about the endless fight between a very, very angry, grumpy atheist man and an overly zealous preacher man is just intensely cathartic and exciting from beginning to end. And that's just one novel published by Charco Press. Take everything they've done this year. This year has been one of their strongest years. They published 5 or 6 novels, and this is their final novel of 2020. This book is wonderful, very, very, very special to me. It's their final book of the year, and I think it's their best. It's also the first Chilean novel that they have published, the first Chilean novel that I have ever read. This is Theatre of War by Andrea Yftanovic, and it's translated by Francis Riddle. And oh my god, the translation, first of all, again, is stellar. And this novel is a book that... So, novels, yeah? Novels help to teach us empathy. They help us to engage better with our fellow human beings. This book, more than so many others, really encourages an intense amount of empathy. It is a dark, frightening, upsetting book that encourages love, affection, intimacy, sympathy, empathy, care of all kinds. It's a book about 2 refugees who make their way from a war-torn European country to South America, and they kind of start again. But you carry war with you. The book isn't about war, it's about the fallout, the aftermath of war, and how war affects generations of people who've never actually seen it themselves. It follows the story of the youngest child of these 2 incredibly poor and damaged and frightened and broken people. And it's set on a kind of stage. It reminds you again and again to imagine a stage, as if all of this is a little bit distanced from you. Don't worry, it's on the stage, it's not going to hurt you. But a stage is in the same room that you are, and you can't really get away from it. That's the beauty of live theatre, is that it is there, it is with you. You might be watching it, but you're still kind of a part of it. And it tells you that you are a part of this world and you must care about this. It is a darkly sinister and upsetting book full of fantastic metaphors and symbolism, and it's very, very tough to believe that this isn't a narrative non-fiction biography of some kind. That it is fiction, I struggle to believe, because it feels so intensely, frighteningly real. And this is the power of this one Chilean author, who is one of hundreds of incredible Latin American authors, and all of whom are slowly being accessed and translated and published by the people at Charco Press. They are bringing us some of the world's best fiction. I owe them so much. I owe Charco Press so much love and attention. I try my best to tell the world about their books. I review them. I write emphatically as much as I can about every single book that they produce. And I'm not doing it without good reason. They're the best. They are some of the greatest works of literature of our time. And so now this video is unscripted. It is motivated by nothing except the fact that I felt that I had to write an intimate love letter to Charco Press, their cover designers, their translators. They're a tiny publishing house in Edinburgh who do so much good for the world of literature. All indie presses do. There are so many indie presses that I absolutely adore. From Dostoevsky Wannabe to Galley Beggar to Blue Moose. There are so many wonderful indie presses in the UK alone, and Charco Press are right at the top because they've taken a corner of the world and brought all of its phenomenal literature to almost all the rest of us. Can we really ever thank them enough for this? I don't know. I don't know. But Charco Press, they have their incredible cover designers, their phenomenal translators. They are bringing us the best literature from Latin America. And we need to be eternally grateful for publishers like them. Support indie publishers, support indie bookshops, go to Topping & Co in Bath, go buy a year's subscription from Charco Press, because you know that what comes out that entire year going forward will be worth it. You don't have to investigate, you don't have to wonder, oh, will I like this book? Yeah, you will. Because they know what they're doing. and they love what they do, and you must love what they do. So, Charco Press, one of the greats.